Are we on yet? I think we're on. I think we're on. I think we're on now. Okay. I'm gonna put my outfit on. Get past the computer commercials here on the screen. Okay. I'm putting on my there we go. Now I can put this on. Great. Now you should be able to hear me. Ah. God damn it. See if that fixed it. I don't know. Okay. Bear with me here. We are having a little bit of problem this morning. And the reason we're having a little bit of problem is that Comcast, for some reason, is doing some sort of work or something out there. And so here I am fighting to keep my Wi-Fi on. It keeps going back and forth. It says there's no. This says there's no signal, and it says there is a signal, and it says there's no signal. It has nothing to do with what I'm doing. But let's see. One comment. Oh, hi, Paul. If you're still in there. I don't know if you're still in here or not. Let me know if you're, Paul, let me know if you're in here. Successfully connected. Yes, yes. That's why I'm successfully connected again. We'll see what happens. We'll cross our fingers. Okay. Hey, Jesse. So Paul was in here, but he left because we were having a little bit of a signal problem. Not sure what's happening, Jesse, just so you know. And we can pass this on to others as they come in. But what's happening is it's like coming and going. My signal's coming and going right now, and I don't know why. You know the cap blows cold air. Well, the cap blows whatever air is available at the time. When you're asking about the Powercap, here it is. It blows whatever air is ambient air. So it may be cold, it may be cool. It's not. It's no different than the air that's around the room, though. It's not warming it up or anything. Hey, Tim. Good to see you. So I see we're getting a few people in here. Hi, Pal Parrish. Good. So hi guys, let's welcome in here. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to keep the signal on. There's been a real problem with Comcast today. For some reason, it kind of cuts in, it comes out. Just before we went live here, it it all of a sudden just said, "Oh, we're going to go off," and it disconnected my phone and disconnected my computer too. So then it came back on, then it went off, then it came back on. So right now I did a test and it said I'm getting 113%. hopefully whatever they're doing down the road, maybe they're working on somebody else's unit or something, I don't know. Anyway, but welcome to all you guys. Is it comfortable to wear, you were asking? Yes, it's extremely comfortable. This cap, Paul's asking, this cap here, this weighs about 1 pound and an ounce or something like that. And what I like is the battery pack is on the back side and the filter's on the front, so it kind of balances the weight. So it just kind of sits on your head and you don't really feel anything. You don't feel like you're jerking. With the Trend helmet, I always felt like all the weight was on top and forward. This one is very, very manageable. I really, really, really like this a lot. But, just so you know, this is about $700 bucks. So it's not cheap by any means. But as far as protection goes, it's really, really good. There is a connection to the company that sells these, Peak Safety. In the description here, if you go to the description afterwards and you click it, you'll see and it actually I think gives you $12 off or 12% off, something like that. It gives you a little bit off anyway if you go on there. So I'm not doing a bitch on them or anything, but you know that's what it is. Hey CJ, how you doing? Okay, well what I thought I'd do while we were kind of waiting for others to get in here is I did a little something the other day. I got 2 of these. And these, I'm going to make sure my camera's in the right position for this. Just bear with me a second here. Okay. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so these are crown skews. And there's one for each angle. See, like that. They're very flat on the bottom. And then sharpened. Really sharpened. And so I was kind of playing with it, doing a pen blank here, and let me grab some glasses really quick, just for safety reasons. But I was using this, and as you can see, I did this side. It came out pretty good. What you can do here, though, is you can use it using it like a skew. You can take it down in sections. And I'm just using the heel of this one. And what this gives you an advantage of, it gives you a very smooth finish and a lot of control as you're turning the piece. I had not used these before, so I kind of wanted to just test them out and see how they were. I kind of want to get a little bit more of that off there. This is always where it gets a little scary when you're turning from a pen blank. Because this is where you're getting the really thin wood, and any tiny little catch will ruin all your work. And this is a pretty hard wood. This is an acacia, I think, wood. It should make a beautiful pen blank. And this isn't exactly what I brought you in here to see today, but I thought we'd do this while we were kind of, you know, waiting for people to find us for the day and all that. Yesterday, or this morning I should say, I got a message from YouTube saying congratulations on your first year. And the final numbers on our first year of viewings is 4,610,000 views. That's not bad for the first year. And as I said the other day on our anniversary show, we did 300 videos. I don't necessarily plan on keeping up that pace, but you might be seeing different kinds of videos coming out from me in the future from time to time. As you can see, this does not take off a lot at any one time. More to take off here. See how we're doing. I just want to take a little quick check here. I have to go get the grandson. Okay, Tim. Well, come back when you get back if you can, or you know, introduce your grandson to this stuff. I promise we'll keep the language good. I'll try and keep an eye up on the screen to see if I get the circle of death at any time. And if we do, just stay where you're at. Because I have a couple ways of getting it rebooted that sometimes works. But it's just been really crazy with the Comcast lately. I don't know why. Comcast actually sent me a report the other day saying, we think we've resolved your issue. You're getting 100 and some odd % of what you were scheduled to get, blah, blah, blah. But they're always talking about the download speed. They're never talking about the upload speed, and the upload speed is the problem. Okay, there we go. And I think on this side. Okay. Now, if you can see, maybe you can't see, I don't know, but this is already pretty shined down, even without the sandpaper. But we are going to do some I will get some sandpaper on it, just to get it cleaned up. And then we'll take this off and we'll start doing the wing bowl that I promised you today, because I do like to follow through on my promises when I can. Okay. But let's start with this. The nice thing about these 1-inch pieces, these 1-inch strips that you can buy in a roll, you can just tear off what you need, do a couple pins with it, and just go and get another piece, tear it off again. Makes it very convenient, and it's just the right size for doing this kind of sanding. We're turning it around 1500 RPM right now. You don't have to go too crazy on it. We'll make sure that we're getting a nice rounded piece. Okay, and just kind of cross it like this, and go on to the 220, or 240 I should say. Let's see. Here we go, 240. And I know some guys, they go really high in these, but you know, we're not doing acrylics here, so you don't have to do really high grit sanding for the most part. The wood is a little more forgiving that way. I'm going to try turning this the other direction. There's no real reason for it in this particular case, but it's just kind of fun to do. It doesn't really, I don't think, enhance it one way or the other. But in case there's any fibers that are running across there, you'll catch them. Okay, cross that off. Go to the next one. No, this is just a pin. This is just going to be a pin. I'm sorry, I didn't see your question there. Yeah, this is just going to be a pin. Just a slimline pin. It's nothing fancy. This is more a practice. Well, this is kind of a double practice. This is a practice of using those skews, because I'd never used them for doing something like this. And they're, you know, they're very tiny skews just for this kind of work, basically. Detail work. I wouldn't use them on a bowl or anything like that. Just for spindle work. But you can tell they're very finely made by Crown. And certainly almost anything that comes out of Crown is usually really good. Oh yeah, there's a lot of figuring in this wood. Okay, let's go to the 400. And that'll be the last one we use. Just getting some nice powder off of there at this point. Make sure it's nice and smooth looking. Got the shape that we want. There we go. I'll go ahead and put a little wax on it, and I'll just set that aside. So, let's see. What do we want to use? You know, just put a little bit of Howard's on it for now. And honestly, I've been using this Howard's a lot lately. Just get it kind of slick on there. Pretty color, isn't it? Back here and kind of pull that off just a little bit. Pick the speed down. There we have. I'll try and get this down there a little bit closer for you to see. I'll turn this for you so you can see the colors in that. It's a really beautiful piece of wood, and that will make a really nice pin. It's got a little chatoyance right in here, which is a little scattering of light. Yeah, it's going to be a real pretty pin for somebody. We'll put that all together later. I just want to get it to let it kind of dry on the vine, so to speak, for a while. I don't want to put my fingerprints on it because when you're using wax like that, you don't want to get your fingers all over it right away. You want to let it sit and harden a bit. So I'm just going to set that aside, and that'll be a pin that I'll put together later on. Okay. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And now I'll pull the camera back out so you can see what we're doing again. It's the problem with being the cameraman and the announcer and everything else. You got to do everything at once, right? You're the jack of all trades. All right. So I don't think I need a tailstock now. Put that away. So earlier, yesterday, I went out to a neighbor's house with a couple of other turners that I know, and we went out and this guy had cut down a tree which I think is elm, although I could be mistaken. It's got this beautiful wood. I waxed it. I got 13 of these pieces, 13 pieces of wood, different sizes. This is one of them, and I already processed them. I already cut them up in the chainsaw, and then put them over in the bandsaw and cut most of them up already. And I've sealed them with wax up to this point. But some of them I want to turn green. And I also finally got around to doing my that oak burl that I've showed you before that I've been talking about forever. I finally got that oak burl cut up. I don't know if it's the best, if I made the best use of it or not, but I think that will probably it'll probably work out. So we got about 11 or 12 pieces, or 10 or 11 pieces of that also. So I got like 24 blanks yesterday between the two things. So that keeps you busy for a little while. Okay, I'm going to put on this Powercap that you asked about. Before I do, let me see what we got here. Yeah, double tap the screen. I appreciate that, Lulu. Yeah, we'd really like to get some. We got quite a few people in here. I'd like to get a lot of likes, but also I'd like to get some subscribers. We've been getting only a few subscribers lately. I've been getting almost more from my people just viewing my regular videos, catching up, than I have from the others. So please, if you can, subscribe. We also have a membership. I'm not pushing the membership or anything. It's 99 cents. And I do publish some things out to the members first before the general public gets to see them. And as we get more members, we'll be doing more things that are member specific. So, you know, if that's something that you want to consider, you can certainly do that. I think that's a little too fast. There we go. This is pretty well balanced. Now this is kind of a weird thing to do because you want to see how out of square I'm at here. Just a second. This is a trying to get this in the best possible spot. This is pretty flat on the bottom, but not completely flat. So I want to flatten the bottom. Then I want to come up these wings on the sides. So I think it's best if I work on flattening these out first.
And I got to go up just a little bit more on it. Ooh, too far. That's a little too high. I don't have a lot to work with here, so I can't fool all around taking too much off. Okay. Now I think I'm going to have to lower this just a bit. I'm going to make a tenon. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Please do double tap the screen for a little support. That would be great. Yeah, I got a little bit high. I know I'm going to need to be a little bit bigger than that, so. Let's see how we're doing there. I know we're getting pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah, we are right there. Okay. Need to make it just a touch wider. Okay. Make that enough to be able to catch it, but I don't want to. Okay. There. You get a tenon. I'll double check it just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure we got that. You always want to double check yourself. Yep, that'll fit right in there. That looks good. Okay. And it's a little humpy in the middle. I think you can clean that up just a little bit in the center. That's better. Okay, good. Now we work on the wing. We want these wings to come up, and we want to get a good angle on them. So I think we're going to start from right about here. You want to be very careful about this. Because you could lose a wing. Okay, so far, that's looking pretty good. This is where I'm a little bit worried because this is right where the core was of the wood, and so it's a little bit weak right here. So I'm a little bit worried about this one corner out of all of them. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're getting right up there now. Okay. I think I'm going to get a little different angle here. If I can. Here we are, we're right up to the edge. See, that's right where I was talking about that cracking right there. That's what I didn't want. So I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to CA glue that just a little bit just to make sure that doesn't come off. Otherwise, it kind of ruins the look. I'm just going to give it a very little, if I can. Little CA glue. I will hold that down and spray. Hopefully that sticks. Okay. Yeah, that's why it's always good to scope out your wood ahead of time because you can anticipate where some of those issues might be. And that was one that was exactly what I thought it would do. Right there. Okay. So we got that out. Now I want to get more of a form to it. So coming off, just losing a little bit of that tip. That's okay. I think we can work with that anyway. Okay. Now you got to work on this just a little bit. There we are. I think I can go a little bit better with this. So let me try the skew. I'm not happy with that curve. So it's coming, okay. There's an angle there. Just trying to get to. Okay. There we are. Yeah, double tap, please, or hit the like button. I'd appreciate that a lot. If you can, subscribe, double tap, screen, whichever you do. Okay, I think we got the gist of that. I'm gonna have to sand it down just a little bit. Don't run off. I'm not gonna be sanding for long. I just want to kind of get it looking nice. So I'm gonna turn on this dust collector. Up. Really, what this was kind of an experiment because I had this thin piece of oak. I wasn't sure what I could do with it. So I thought, what the heck, let's do this. There, by cutting that off just a little bit right there, sandpaper, that kind of rounds that edge just a little bit. sanding, and we'll get. I'm going to do a little bit. Another grit here. Okay, that feels really good. Right there. That feels better. Okay, good. Alright, so let's put a little finish on that. Turn that off. You can count it off for just a minute. You can actually hear me. Okay, and let's put a little finish on this side. Ah, see, I saw that. I felt that right there. I got to get that out of there because if I don't fix that now, I won't be able to fix that later. There's a little gouge right there from a tool mark. And that's why we do this. That's why we put this on here. And that's why I didn't put any kind of a solid finish on it. Just wiping a little of this Howard's feed and wax. I always want to say weed and feed. Feed and wax on here. And we will fix that little coating right there. And let me see. Let me try with this. Working really good on there, so maybe I'll try. This has a different angle to it. There we go. There we are. It's a little bit more. Go. That's much smoother. Now I can just take this out to the edge here. It allows me to keep that same curved angle all the way around. There, okay, that's much smoother. Okay, just go back and hit that with the really quick, just a tiny bit of sanding there, and we will finish that off. Sometimes you got to make sure that you got it right, you know, that's the whole thing.
Make sure that looks really good on the edges. Okay, there. That's all I needed to do was just that little bit of sanding to get that right. Okay, now we'll go back to wiping this on. Much better looking. Yeah. I think that looks good already, doesn't it? Okay. And now we will turn it around. Take it off of there. And we will have to get a screwdriver to it. Or drill to it, I should say. There. There. 3 and 4. Went out and bought a couple more of these from Amazon the other day. They're really super cheap and well built. They'll last a long, long time, but I just find so many uses for them. I keep having more and more pieces. I got like 4 blocks all set up to turn right now. And I use it on all my jam chucks and other items too. So it's really, I use those face plates for everything. Okay, I'm going to turn the speed down, take a look at this. See if it's running true. It's running mostly true. Let's see if I can get that a little bit more snugged in there. Seems to be pretty good. Okay. Tighten that one, tighten this one. That should hold. Fingers crossed. Everybody cross your fingers. Or whatever it is you do for a little bit extra luck. Now we're going to go down into this. And see if we can't have some fun. Let me put my Powercap back on. Questions there? That's a nice wood. Yeah, it's just a piece of oak burl that I had laying around from another piece that I did. Hi, Harry. Welcome in. Please remember, everybody, to hit that like button. Subscribe if you can. I'd really like to get some more subscribers in here. We're trying to get to that 5,000 mark, and we're really close to it. We got over 4,700, and I'd really like to get that up to that 5,000 mark soon. I was hoping to get there before we got to the end of my first year, but we didn't quite make it. That's okay. Gives us something to shoot for now, right? So, let's see if I'm in a little bit better position. There we go. Okay, I'm not doing any real actual turning there. I'm just trying to establish about here is where we have the
we're going to have to go down just a tiny bit. And there's our ring. Okay, good. Getting a lot of chatter here. Just want to get rid of some of that chatter. Not quite sure why this keeps digging in. Trying to ride the bevel, but it keeps wanting to dig in. And it could be because it needs to be sharpened. And it very well could be because it needs to be sharpened. So I'll just kind of straighten this out. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. There's no obvious things. Huh. Some reason there. Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. That just doesn't want to come out. There. Yeah. So how are we doing so far here? We're getting I think I'm gonna try a different one. Let me see. I've got a couple different. It's a day for experimenting, so I want to do a little experimenting. This one has a slightly different, and maybe more aggressive angle. I'm not sure. is from BM Wood Turning, and has a slightly different angle to it. Probably better suited for something like this. And I think it's a little sharper. Honestly. Is turning tools are a little bit like playing the guitar. You can play another guitar, but it doesn't always feel the same in your hand. You get used to a certain piece of wood in your hand, a tool in your hand, and it does the same function, but the handle's a little different. These are pretty the same. This one's just a little bit chunkier than this one. You know, so the handle feels a little different in your hand. The angle you put on it's a little different because you want to use it for a different kind of tool. It is making pretty ribbons, I'll say that. Okay, now I have to start considering where I'm at and where the kind of side. We can go a little bit further, but I just have to start paying attention to that, that's all. And now I can clean this up a little bit. Alright. I can start making this come down. Remember, as you get to the center, you want to be turning this flute almost completely 90 degrees by the time you get to that center. And then here I've got a little bit of angle. Don't see very well, but you can see it's still somewhat open. And I'll get towards the middle. And flatten it around. I got a little bit too much of this, so I'm going to work this down. Okay, I think we got our depth just about. We're right about here. Yeah, I don't think I can go too much further in the depth, but I certainly can clean it out some. So we're going to use this to clean it out. This will also make a nice smooth finish, but I don't want it to have ridges. I want it to be nice and scooped out. So let's see what I can do here. I'm going to also clean this up a little bit too, if I can. Okay, that feels really good. That I can just hit with a little bit of a sander, and I think we'll be in good shape. Okay. Put my tools away. Just a can here. And we'll clean this up a little bit. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you can. I really appreciate that. It does help us and gives us something to do here. Hey Fernando. Hi Animate. Hey Paul. Hi, let's see. Trying to read them all. Rhinestone Susan. Hey Susan. And Paul and Harry. And let's see, I saw Harry before. And Shane. Good to see you, Shane. Eric. Hey, Eric made it in here. Good. All right, guys. Well, all welcome. And hey, if any of you have a channel and you want to promote your YouTube channel, go ahead and write it in the comments section. Just put in the comments what your channel address is. And that's fine with me. Okay, let's. We want to share the wealth. All right, we want to make sure everybody's checking out everybody else and keeping the whole group together, so to speak. Excuse me, but I'm going to have to turn this on to collect some of that dust. Really nice and smooth. It's going to be a nice little bowl. It didn't take long to make. It's a couple things you got to be real careful about as you do it. Okay, we'll go up one more grit. Hey Mustang, how you doing? Hey Alex. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Alex. Hey Alex, I'm available tomorrow if you want to go cut some of that up. Mine's electric, but as long as I can run a cord to my truck, I'll be okay. Don't know if that helps. That is really nice and smooth. Give me a nice little bowl. And I'm going to finish this off. There we go. Let's get some finish on there. And we will be done with this first project. And you'll notice lately I've been using a lot of this Howard's feed wax. It's just because it's beeswax. It doesn't. It's food safe. It imparts a nice finish on this hard wood. The wood doesn't need to be hardened any by tung oil or anything like that, so I don't see the reason for using tung oil on it. And it polishes out real good. And you know, you should be able to get this at any hardware store in your area, but if not, there is a link to the product in my description area if you need to. But again, I don't expect to get anything out of that. I just put it up there for people to be able to find it. So if you want to, there's a good price on it there. I think it's from Walmart or something. Okay, there we go. So now we've done a pen project, and we've done this. Not bad for the first hour. Let me get this off of the first. There we go. There's our bowl. And I may go back and just take that little bit of curve off there so it matches the other ones a little bit more. But there's your wing. You turn a nice bowl in out of a square piece of wood. This is just a 1-inch thick piece of oak. That's all this was. So right here, that's the thickness that we had. Instead of making a plate or something, I thought we'd do something like this. It makes it a little bit more interesting, a little more conversational. The big things on something like this, make sure you are really dead set center so you don't have like a thick end and a thin end and so forth, because it looks a little awkward if you do. Okay? But other than that, I think this one is ready for the books. We'll set that aside. Oh, by the way, let me jump into our next piece. The other day I cut off that piece of walnut, and I told you I was going to turn it into a pen holder. Well, this is the pen holder right here. So it's like a paperweight and a pen holder. And if I wanted to, this is a natural crate. I was thinking of maybe putting a slot in here that you could put your business cards into. I don't know what you think, but I just love this piece of walnut, and I didn't want to just throw it away. So I bored this in. It's countersunk. I'm going to put a piece of felt on the bottom there, just so it looks a little more classy. And someone will be able to put this on their desk and hold a pen. So, and it's a good use for a leftover piece of wood. Walnut's not always easy to come by, so you know, there you go. Although walnut is exactly what Alex was going out to get today. He scored himself a fallen walnut tree, a big one. Big walnut tree. And there's probably been a lifetime worth of bowls in that thing, Alex. Hey, Lulu. So anybody else got any questions before you go on to the next piece here? This is one of the pieces we cut yesterday, and I thought, and I have no expectations of this. It could just fall apart completely on me. I have no idea. But I thought what we would do is we would at least try and do a little bit of a shaping, you know, before we put it into dry. We could shape this. Now it's a little bit wonky. It's kind of going all over the place here. Whoa! It is a little wonky. Ah, I know, because it's because this side was off. So you know, Well, let's see. Bring it this way just a bit. We'll take some of that wonkiness out of there, because one end was cut a little bit on the slant, and this one's cut a little bit straighter, so it's presenting itself as being a little wonky, but it's not actually that bad. I think I will sharpen this first, though. So in the meantime, please hit that like button and subscribe. Again, like I said, or consider becoming a member. We do have memberships for 99 cents. Not exactly breaking the bank, but you know, you don't feel obligated in any way. Just it does help the channel a little bit. If you want to know how much money I make doing this, which is almost nothing, go back to the 1 year anniversary video that I did a couple days ago, and watch that for a few minutes, and you'll see how much do you make on YouTube, and it'll probably shock you if it doesn't already. If you're not shocked already, it probably will. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start this one. And let's see what we can get going on it, okay? Put my Powercap on. I'm going to turn the... You can see what I mean by wonky. So I'm going to have to take the wonky out of it. So I'm going to start with this. That's kind of the problem with cutting green wood, is it cuts really nice, but it can really catch you before. It's just so wet, I feel like I'm being showered. Now, this is the upside to turning green wood. Look at that. And look how fast we were able to get through a lot of that. It's already winding, it's already rounding itself out pretty good. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. Get in here a little closer. Okay. And we should be able to there. Whew. And it's shiny. The combination of having a really sharp tool and a really wet wood. Alright, trying to get down to that. So. What do you think of these? Isn't that cool? Yeah, hi guys. Let me stop for just a second. Hey, Rich, how you doing? Yeah, you can see I'm making compost for my garden. What's that? Alex said, he said, I can't believe how many pieces you cut up and got ready. It was a surprise. It's I did that other video that I posted this morning that showed you kind of what what it all looks like. But yeah, once you get going, it's really not that hard. You just get it cut to the right sizes and make sure that you get it on your bandsaw. Again, it's green wood, so it's easy to work with. Just like this. Boy, this is soft. In fact, let's just take. I know what this is going to be. I'm betting 25. What do you guys bet? I'm betting about 25%. Anybody else want to bet? Go ahead and put it in here. I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, wait about 10 seconds. Here we go. I'm going to put it in here and see what we got. I said 25 and it is 24.9. 25.0, 25.4.9. Yep, it's running around at 24.9. So I was pretty darn close. So 25% of this wood is water. Well, that means that it's going to shrink or could move quite a bit as it dries out. So when I turn this, I'm only going to turn it, I'm going to leave about 10% or so out based on the size of this. I'm going to leave about 10% of it out unturned because I know it's going to move and adjust. But I just wanted to kind of show you what to do with the green wood. So Alex here, this is for you too, kind of, okay? Use it for nesting? Yeah, well, if it was still Easter time, this would be going into an Easter basket, right? So, okay, guys. Well, again, hit that like button if you would. Yeah. I'm a little bit low. Let me raise this up just a little bit. There we go. You guys, the easiest way is just to come across this way. Not sure why that keeps bouncing there. That's probably tear out. That's probably what that is. Again, we're not looking for perfection right now. We're just kind of everything kind of rounded out. Okay. So I can leave it like this and wax it and let it dry this way, and then when I get it back, I can put it back in. And I can return it, and so that's one way of doing it. Okay. Another way of doing it. I just have to clean that up a little bit. I could put a tenon on it. The problem with putting any kind of a permanent tenon on it is the tenon is going to warp. So if I put a tenon on it, as it dries, it's going to warp and crack, and it's not going to be a good tenon. It's going to have to be taken off again. So, that's another choice. I could leave the faceplate on the back and go ahead and just turn this way into the wood, and I could make it into and turn it into a bowl about yay thick so far. But I'm not sure that really adjusts or accomplishes much of anything either. So I think on this particular piece, I've got This is already starting to crack right there. That's where one of the little branches came out. And I got another little branch right here, and it's starting to get a little bit of radial cracking on it, even right now as we speak. So if I was to turn into this, it's probably going to crack anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and not complete it right now, because if I complete it, I think I'm just going to end up with a bowl that's going to be cracked in two places. It's not going to hold. So in this particular case, this one just is going to go into a pile with, it's going to be waxed. I'm going to paint it with wax, and then I'm going to put it in with this stuff, and that will slow down the loss of moisture a little bit and even it out a little bit so that it's coming out evenly, and hopefully this doesn't crack. And back in another 3 months or so we'll be able to turn this, but we'll wait and see. And I think for right now, for this moment anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just put this in storage to dry. I think we can move on to something else. It's a little more fun. What we're going to do is we're going to try this one here. Now this one presents its own issues. It's actually only this wide, except for this one high part here. So I have to flatten this out, put a little yeah, I gotta get close to that. I have to flatten this out and then put a little bit of a tenon on it, and see what we can do from there. Okay, let's see what this does. Now I got it, get it going in the right direction now. Okay. There. Now we're getting so close. Getting close. Okay. Now I got something to work with. I gotta get this in. Fighting the rest is just not gonna do it. Okay. I'm gonna get this outer edge. It's still a little bit out of round. Okay, I can live with that. I don't need to take that out in order to get them done. Okay, now I can put a little tenon on here. Not much. There's not room for much of a tenon. Just enough, hopefully, to hold it. We'll see. Off. Yeah. See if that'll fit. It needs just a little bit more. Not much. I've got that tear out we got to take care of. The one thing I worry about with this kind of wood, get that tear out. Okay, that works. That works. Okay, we got that all done. I'm going to shear up the side here just a little bit. That might make this go away. This will also give me a better eyeball for being about in line with the bottom of this, right about here. So once I know I've turned it on the inside down to here, I know that I'm near the bottom of the hole too. And it cleans up that So again, this is just a throwaway piece of wood that I wanted to try and, you know, save this a little bit. I think that'll work. I think we can work with that. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, it is oak. Hey Wilson, how you doing? Got a few bits of good. Yeah, this is another piece of that of oak. A different piece. Yeah, do that, Wilson. Make sure you do film some of that. I'd like to see it. Okay, guys, Paul and others. Here we go. Let's clean this up and then let's get going on it. You know what I just realized here? I didn't do a raking cut on the side edge here. Let's do a cleanup cut right here. I have a couple of high spots and then a low spot. Whoa. Yeah, I know you don't want to do that with your tool. I just was being silly. Okay. Now I can sand that. Just had to make sure that was doesn't get straight. Okay, now we can sand that. Sand this. Put it in reverse. Turn this on just to pick some of the dust away. Okay, there we go. To another here. Keep going backwards. This is really dense, folks. It does not need a high polish. It's very, very, very smooth right now. I don't think I need to go any further. That feels pretty good. Helmet off for a second. Yes, I'm wearing my smart today. My wife reminded me. For those of you that like Jim the other day was reminding me that I didn't wear it and I was going to be in trouble with my wife. Well, I guess we had to do the laundry the other day. That's okay. It's okay. You stay married 48 years by getting along, right? And we're coming up on our 47 years, 47th anniversary. So,
Same Howards that we used on the other side, we'll put on here. It really does bring out the prettiness in this particular oak. And this is all burled oak, so it kind of has grain that goes in a lot of different directions at times. So here we are. Okay, letting that soak in for just a moment, and then I'll wipe it off. What else we got going in here? Thank you, Lulu. I appreciate it. Hey, Ryan, Susie. Or I'm going to call you Susie. It's my sister-in-law's name is Susie, so I just naturally do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, it would feel a little weird if you took us with you while you were showering, but then again, I'm probably being seen in a lot of places I don't want to know about, Wilson, so, you know. Showers might be the least of my worries. There's no telling what people might be doing in the background while I'm talking to them, you know. So, and if that doesn't make you have nightmares at night, nothing will. Trying to imagine what other people are doing while you're doing a live. That could be really scary. It looks like I'm going to have to replace my ring here shortly. Yeah, it's starting to wear out. And yeah, see there? That's what happens after a while with these. If you want to get it all, make sure it's nice and clean. And we'll put a fresh one on. And keep them around here just like that. I'm going to have to order some more pretty soon. These will last me about a year. They last about a month each. I'm down to one, so I got to put that in my to be replaced list. There. Okay. I buy these on Amazon by the dozen. Now, you don't get those expensive nylon ones. They charge you a fortune. These are rubber. They do just as well. And honestly, they sorry, let me get the screw bit out of here. I appreciate that Milwaukee makes really tight tool kits, but boy, sometimes it's hard to get the tool out. These things are in there a little too snug sometimes. Yeah. Come on. There we go. That one. And this one. Okay. We'll put this on here. Yep. That's cleaned up. By the way, you should periodically take your chucks apart and clean them, but be very careful how you do it because every chuck is a little bit different. So be careful when you're taking out the connecting pins or whatever it is that holds yours together, because you want to make sure you know how to put it back. Okay, let me spin this. That looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, we're good. Tighten that. Okay. We're on there good and tight, I hope. As always, we say a little prayer, just in case.
Remember when I went to the other tool last time? I think that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm going to go back to this one again. I think it just did a better job of working on this oak. The angle and so forth just works a little bit better for me. So, put my helmet back on too. Okay, let's try this one. You can see I'm going to have to do is lower this just a little bit. There we go. Alright, that was the first one. Oh, don't want that, don't want that. Let's clean that off too. There we go. I'm going to have to come in from this one. So I'm not going to be able to do that. There we go. Now I got a ridge. You have to establish that collar a little bit. Okay, we are now getting close to that area. Not quite, but we are getting close. We are about right about here. So we're getting closer. Oh, thanks, Rhinestone Susan, for coming in, and thank you for being here. And we'll see you next Friday, I hope. Okay. You should only use the rubber once. Thanks, Octo. Well. Yeah, you're right. But in my case, at my age, once a month is good enough. That's why I only need one a month. Okay, so. Frankly, after at my age, I don't think a rubber matters. So. Alright, this is where we get the scraper. We'll just do a little bit of scraping, I think, just to kind of clean it up. Okay. There's still just a little bit of meat there, so good. I can kind of clean that up just a little. Alright, I think that'll sand out. It feels pretty flat on the bottom. Good. Good. And this is an example of how to use really small pieces to make nice little bowls. Yeah, I always forget to turn on my vacuum, my dust vacuum. First one, second grit. I'm going to go in reverse. Up to the 40. That's good. Okay, I think our next. Please keep hitting that like button. We'd like to get to 100 if you can. It'd be nice to have 100 likes. I haven't had that in a while. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. That would be much appreciated. And again, subscribe if you can. Hopefully I've showed you a few techniques and a few tricks today to help you in your turning or in your appreciation of turning. And inside there, do the outside again just because I got it in my hand here, I can do it. Nice thing about this beeswax is that you cannot use too much, really. You just keep bumping it out And anytime you want to give it a fresh finish, just buff it out again. Just put some more on. Just before I go to shows, or even the day of shows, I'll bring a bottle of this with me and I'll actually touch up some of my bowls, give them a little fresh look. And that really does help in the sales, believe it or not, because people like to see something that has this nice little glow to it, and smells really good because it's got that orange oil in it. So there's that advantage also. Okay, put my other tools back. We made quite a mess here on the floor of all the sawdust today. Gonna be a lot to clean up. Okay, so let's see. Can I tell you about the lathe itself, Eric? Well, this is a Laguna lathe. It is what they call a 1216. I'm sorry, it's called a 1216, which means that on this particular model, on here from the centerpiece down is 6 inches, so that means I can do a 12-inch bowl, roughly, really probably more like 11.5-inch bowl, but I can do a 12-inch bowl here, and on the outside, because I've got a dropped, this is the bed is lower over here, and it's the motor extension on this side. I can also do turn over here, I can turn 16-inch bowls, or about 8 inches deep on each side. So if you think of a 12-inch bowl there and about a 16-inch bowl on the other side. I don't often do, I've done a few. It's not my favorite to do an outboard turning. It feels awkward to me, and this is about, I can do about 12 inches long, but I don't, there's a lot of guys that have big long ones that go like 20 or 30 inches long, and unless you're doing table legs regularly or something like that, I don't really see the point of it, because it just takes up a lot of space and you're not using all that bed. So unless you're doing either staircase cane or walking canes or something like that, or table legs, I really don't see the advantage of having a really long lathe. This is called a midi lathe. It's a midi size, between the big, huge hunting ones, the 2 and 3 horsepower ones, and the small pin ones. You can do pins on this. You can do good sized bowls. I mean, I've done some really good sized bowls. In fact, this is one I'm getting ready to do. You can see it's all mounted up. And that's a big bowl. Okay, that's a big bowl. You don't usually use bowls much bigger than this, actually. I mean, occasionally, you know. And I have some friends that make some really big bowls. I have some that make over 20-inch bowls. But that's kind of it. What I do like about it is I like the controls here, and I've done a whole video about this, just so you know, Eric. You can go back and look, and it talks about what to look for in a lathe. It's under the regular. I don't know if it's in the shorts or if it's in the regular videos. I think it's in the regular videos. But I talk about all the parts of the lathe, and I really like having the controls right here on my left, because as I'm holding the tool like this, I can just reach over here and hit the stop. If it's down here, I've got to get down here, or in some cases it's down here on my right, which means I got a tool in my hand. I got to take my hand off the tool, go down here to turn it off. That's not good for me. Now, there are some that you can use your hip to turn it off or something like that, but I don't like, if something's out of whack and it's spinning around on me, I don't want to try and push myself in even closer. So, you know, that's me. So I think having the controls right here is really good. It's got reverse. That's really important to me, because having a reverse really helps you. And well, this is sucked all this in, by the way. All this that I put on here is all sucked in. I didn't even have to wipe anything off. Look at that. It just sucked up all of that finish that I put on there. There's the finish. There's the piece though. So you can see it's got a really nice wavy feel to it. That's the bottom of it. Yeah, we weren't very far from the bottom. I'm telling you, we are about the thickness of a quarter, maybe less. On there, we're pretty darn close to the bottom. But that's a nice little bowl, and I think it's interesting because these are both oak, but the wood looks different, right? They don't look like they're from the same piece of wood or anything, because this oak has a little bit of a wave to it. So does this, but you don't notice it's pronounced in this area as it was in this area. So wood, as you go through it piece by piece, will present itself differently even from the same tree. So here's a couple of nice little bowls, and I think over here, let me see. Here's a couple that we did last week. This is the walnut bowl that we did last week, and this is not sure what this is. This might be elm or something. I can't recall at the top of my head. Anyway, but it was a live edge piece, and it almost looks like it's going oval, but I took the measurements of it, and it is exactly still round. You just give the appearance of being oval looking because of the way it's cut into the rings. Okay. No, it's not. It's not dangerous going reversing on a threaded stock. No, because yes, it's on here tight. If you go in reverse, and I'll just show you. This is reverse. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm not like beating on it or anything like that, like you would when you're turning. I'm just sanding, and so all I'm doing is just very glossing the finish. We're just barely touching it. And so as long as I'm barely touching it, it's not putting any pressure on there to unscrew. Okay, so that what causes it to unscrew, it doesn't unscrew easy. Okay, it doesn't unscrew easy. Is that if it's spinning this way, unless you put a lot of pressure on it and hold it in place so this can unscrew it, it's not going to. Okay, so I guess that's the best answer I can give you with that one. But good questions. These are really good questions. So keep them up. Any other good questions like that? Yeah, I like the grain on this one. It does have kind of a nice finish to it. And I like the live edge that we were able to keep. Even though we almost lost it in a couple places. But and walnut's always walnut, so you know, walnut's walnut. I could have made this maybe thinner. I don't know. It's a little. This one looks a little clunky. This one looks very what you'd find in a medieval house. You know, somebody turned it to use it for a bowl to feed slop or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's a very fancy bowl to me, but you know, some people like those kind of bowls too. You put out a variety of bowls when you're at a show, and you see what people like and what they don't like. I'll give you a little glimpse over here, if I can, with my camera here. Okay, this is just some of the pieces that I still have that I've got working on, plus all the ones I've got outside and in my storage sheds. But right here is some of that oak that I was talking about that I just cut up. And if I can, this was oak burl, and this was a 40-pound gigantic oak burl, and this is what it looked like on the outside. This alone weighs probably around 3 to 4 pounds, this one piece, and it's dry. This is not wet wood. This is 3 or 4 pounds of dry, hard, thick wood, but it's got all these porous holes in it. Okay, so all these holes, we don't know where they go. We don't know if they go all the way out to the bottom. We don't know if they just stop at the surface. So when we go to turn this, what I'll probably have to do is I'll probably have to drill it, drill in here and put in a faceplate here, make the tendon out of this, but I'm not sure if I can. So the other alternative is to try and put a faceplate on here and have it hold, which I could do, and then go through this way and see if we can do the bowl from this side. We don't know. This could end up being a complete mess, or it could really be good. So as I went through it, cutting other pieces, you run into pieces like this. Okay, and that's almost a deal breaker. But you know what? I love doing these kind of things, so I will continue to turn it. I will turn it anyway. Here's another piece.
Now this one is from the center. You can see this is where the center was. And there's cracks. I don't know if they go all the way through. It doesn't look like they do because it's not cracking here. But this wood was so twisted and so bent because it's a burl. You don't know what it's going to do. You really do not know what it's going to do. So it could do anything. This has been sitting around for probably 30 years. Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see. And I'm just hoping that I can make some good out of some of these pieces. Got small pieces, got bigger pieces. Again, one end of it looks really bad, one end of it looks okay. We'll see. I could end up with an awful lot of sawdust, and there's a couple larger pieces back there. So when you go to process a piece of wood, you never know what you're going to get. So let me pull back out so I'm not scaring you when I stand up that close. Okay. And I use this by the way, and I did this in one of my early videos. This keeps all those shavings from flying all the way back to the wall. What that does is it hits and it goes right down to the ground. So all my cleanup area is just right here in front of me. So, you know, that's one of the little advantages too. Okay. Well, hey, Jim, how you doing? You must have gotten out of school for the day. Don't shit your pants. Well, JF, I will try not to do that, or we're not sure who you're talking to there, but yeah. So I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of some of the other stuff that we have to do in the background, and again, for my members and stuff, I start showing some of these other background kind of things. Teach them. Down the road we have this really nice piece of cypress here that we're going to turn also, and I always love it because look at these veins running through it. You know, if you can see it here. Down here, there we go. There's some veins running through it, and veins right in here. It's always a fun piece to turn. Gets very red when you turn it, so we'll be turning that here one of these days soon. And I still got a piece of that manzanita left over from the manzanita we turned a couple weeks ago. And manzanita, you could make a judge's gavel out of this thing. It is hard as a rock. So not sure exactly what I'm going to do with this piece. But there's no wrong way to turn it because it'll be hard no matter what. It's like trying to turn a rock, quite honestly. It does dull your tools very quickly. Okay, well guys, I've been on here for a couple hours and I don't know if you have anything else you want me to do today. I mean, I could turn another piece, but we turned 4 pieces today, including, oh, the pen. We haven't finished the pen, but I will show you what that pen looks like on the next time we get together. I've switched from Thursdays. I was always doing it on Thursdays. I've switched to Fridays because Fridays seem to be a little bit better for everybody. Get a lot more people watching, and you know, we can interact a little bit more. So we will be doing more Fridays. Paul wants me to do one more, huh? Is that Etlore Fresca? I'm trying to read this up from a distance, so I don't have my glasses on, so pardon me if I don't say it right. You want me to turn one more? About the only thing I got left hanging right now is this, and I'm not even sure what this is. I mean, I suppose I could turn it if you really want me to. I can do that. I'm not sure what we're going to turn it into. This has a big crack in it. That's why I wasn't really sure if I wanted to turn it. But what the heck, we've already had some success today. Let's try one, see if we can avoid failure. Okay? I'll do it. I'll turn it. But if I get hurt, I'm coming back to get you.
Okay, Paul, let's see. Let's just wanted to see where we're at as far as how flat this is. So. Yeah, pretty flat. Okay. Let me get the side here. Well, one other thing about the lathe you were asking. This is a Laguna lathe, but this is a one-way banjo that I replaced the Lagunas with because this is so much better. It is just such a much better banjo than the one that comes with this lathe. And that's typical of all lathes, not just this one. Every lathe has its good and bad parts. There's not too many that are perfect. So and of course, you can get lathes at different parts of the world. You can get different kinds of lathes that you can't get, like here, for instance. So wherever you live, you might be able to get a lathe that we can't get where I'm at. Prior to this one, I owned a Jet lathe. And Jets make pretty good lathes. But I honestly don't like their banjo either. Their banjo is really hard to tighten down. And if you're wondering what I mean by banjo, banjo is this part here that holds the tool rest. This piece here, this big white piece, that's the banjo. So, okay, we are getting near. Now, for those of you that were asking about dangerous, the most dangerous time is when you're standing right in front of the tool, or right in front of the product. However, this tool rest, properly set, does provide some protection. The other protection is what you're wearing right here and right here. So you're relatively protected, but you're not completely protected. I try not to whenever I can. I try to stand not in the direct line of fire. Okay? But you can't always avoid that. Now, this crack looks like it runs all the way through to here. This whole thing may come right apart. And that's my concern. So normally I would not turn this. I would say, you know what, we're not going to go through it with it, but because you're here, I'm going to do it anyway. Alright, so we'll see if we can turn this. I don't know if we can or not. Well, there it goes. And that was my answer. And that's why I stood over here instead of standing in front of it. Okay, so hopefully you saw my lesson. Watch the wood, and if you know that it's going to do that, step away from it. So hey CJ, thanks for staying, and sorry You leave just as I had something flying at me. I will say hi to my wife. Thank you. But hopefully that you saw that lesson there. It's not every piece of wood can be turned, and it wasn't because I snagged anything. It's just that I had a crack that was running all the way through this, right here, and there's no way that was going to happen. So, Paul, we'll see you later, and you'll see me tomorrow. So you're taking off too? Sure. Everything comes flying at me, and then everybody wants to leave. I put my life at risk, and then you want to leave. Okay, fine. That's the way you're going to be. Anyway, so we'll toss this. It was just for show. Thank goodness it did exactly what I asked it to do. I wanted to show you that it would tear off, and boy, it was going to make a monkey out of me if it just ended up being a nice piece of wood. So I'm glad the demonstration worked as predicted. Okay. Is there any other questions out there? By the way, I have to take my wife out to dinner tonight. Anybody got suggestions for dinner? Maybe Italian, I don't know. I don't know if I feel Italian or not. What do you guys think? Well, anyway, please hit the like button before you leave, and subscribe if you can. It really helps the channel. We got 75 people have liked us today. That's great. I'd like to get to 100, but it doesn't look like we're going to get to 100. But can we get to 80 before you go? Let's see if we can get the likes to 80, okay? And we'll call that a good day. So if you can do that, I'd appreciate it. Give us a little love along the way. Oops, there we go. I'll be right there, just getting something. But if you can give us a couple more likes or double tap the screen, that would really be helpful and help us get to our help us get up to 80. That'd be great. So that one comes off. By the way, I still could turn this into. I could still turn this into a pen holder. I actually could. In fact, you know what? You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm going to see if I can. I wonder if I can turn this into a pen holder. Now that the crack is gone, and I got some more pen holders to make anyway. I wonder if I can do that. I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll try anything once. Almost. Give this a try and see. No guarantees, it may just come right apart. Okay, just want to see where we're going here. Okay. I'm going to have to key this side first, I think. And then sneak up on the other end of it. Like so. There's a high speed. getting down to it already. Alright, you got that shape. Now I can work on the top here. There we go. Let's see. This also makes a good scraper. You can do this all with one tool. Like that. Okay. Take that little nub off there. There we go. That is perfect. Great. I will sand that, and I'll have another holder for one of my pins. So, see, we still saved it. We still saved it, even though it was a broken off piece. Put it reverse. Again, because I'm not putting pressure on it, it doesn't unwind itself. Put another bit on. I'll put on one more with the 240 grit. Good. So, another piece of wood we didn't have to waste. Another piece of wood we saved, made into something useful here in the shop. So all these little pieces of wood all became something useful today. I think that's always a good thing. So let me get my Howard's feed and wax. Always shake this up good before you use it. I just put it on the brush. Paint that on there.
bottom also. I'll probably have to take the sandpaper to the bottom of it just to smooth it out. But we've been putting, after we drill the hole for the pin holder, we'll put felt on the bottom of it so you don't even see the holes. Tell you, bending over used to be a lot easier when I was younger. Bending over is not as easy when you get to V70. Okay, just buff that out. And there you go. So we went from that cracked piece of wood to this in just a matter of a couple of minutes. And I'll take these off. I'm glad you guys kind of stuck around and made me think of this. I'm not sure I would have thought of it otherwise. So thank you all for the encouragement today. We're still not quite to 80 likes. We need 2 more likes to get to 80. We got 3 more while I was showing you all this. So if thanks, Eric. And anytime you want to contact me, just go ahead. My contact information is in the description, or in the channel. I'm sorry, in the channel information. And you can go up there, and if you want to send me an email or something like that, feel free, Eric. Anytime. So this is what it looks like. It's nice and flat. We'll drill a little hole through it. It'll hold one of those pin holders like you saw me show you earlier here. Let me get that one. If you didn't see this earlier. This is one I did the other from the other day. This was walnut. So we'll put something similar to that on here, and it'll be another pin holder. So even these little bitty pieces can turn into something nice. Okay, so think of it that way. You know, don't just throw away small pieces. We took 2 pieces of wood today that were 1 inch thick. You know, this is as thick as this piece was. This was about the same thickness, but it was at an angle. So we turned both of these into nice little bowls, starting with wood that's only this thick. So you can take small pieces of wood and turn them into something useful. You just have to have a little imagination, a little patience, and you just have to, you know, just think it through. Think it through a little bit. Well, I'm not sure we're going to get those last 2 likes, or double tap the screen. If you would like to double tap the screen, I'd really appreciate it. It would help. It always helps the channel. Again, if we can get some more subscribers, that's great too. Eric, I'm located in California, in the central part of California. Where are you from, actually, Eric? Interested to know. Actually, I'm interested to know where everybody's at. I'm gotta wait and see what you're at. Illinois. All right, got a lot of friends out in that area. I hear you might be losing the Bears. They're kind of sniffing around Indiana. Boy, wouldn't that be a shock to lose the Bears? That's like losing the Cubs. I mean, they've been there forever. You know, I'm not even sure the NFL would want that to happen. You know, they might even step in. Yeah, I know they say they're going, but, you know, like I said, the NFL might have something to say about all that, too. After all, my San Diego Chargers, which I was a fan of for 60 years, left to go to L.A., so there could be an extra team in L.A. that nobody watches. Because when you go to a Charger game down in L.A., 65 to 75% of the people cheering are cheering for the other team. And that's the God's honest truth. That is a Rams town. It's a Raiders town. It is not a Chargers town. And it never has been and never will be. And most of the fans in San Diego have just given up altogether. So they've lost 3 million people in San Diego on top of that. The cost to go to a game in LA it's like a couple $100 just to park your car. I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, so anyway, I don't want to go on that line too long. I will say one thing. When I was 10 years old, I used to shag balls for some of the San Diego Chargers when they practiced at the high school stadium because they were AFL team. They used to practice at our high school stadium, and I used to shag balls for John Hadel, Lance Allworth, all Hall of Famers, you know, that were in the Chargers back in the early mid '60s. So, and they lost me as a fan. So, when you lose a guy that's done all that with the team, and you lose him as a fan, that tells you something about the team. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I don't see if we're going to get any more likes or anything. So, we're going to be stuck on 78. It looks like. And we'll see you guys all next week. I'm usually do another one some other day of the week, some maybe Sunday or you know, Monday or Tuesday, somewhere in there. But I definitely will be doing another one on Friday. So just if you're subscribed, you'll be notified ahead of time when we're going on. So that's one of the best reasons to subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. But if you subscribe, you'll know when we're going to be doing our next live and you'll catch on accordingly. So. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye.